Well, good morning. This is Dave Johnston here with Day Trade the Markets, and it's Wednesday, October the 16th, 2013. As you can see here, I've placed a couple of orders. One of them is at 17.15 and a half, and the other one is at 17.13.75. Both orders to buy. So we've had a good up move here today so far in the market. Of course, this rally is on the heels of a nice down day yesterday. That came all the way down to the 1690 area, where we thought some support could come into play. And it did get down there. That was yesterday's low was in that area, slightly below there. The overnight market did not make a new low compared to yesterday's regular trading hours, but instead turned around and had a really nice rally overnight. Getting all the way up to, I believe it was about 1706, 1707. So we've had a lot of good follow through here, and I expect to see a little bit more of it. So this area right in here, even though the market has rallied quite a bit so far today, really thought that this 1750 could be an interesting area, because this is where the market sold off from after the FOMC news was released a couple of weeks ago. The FOMC news was released, the market had a very nice rally, and then the next day started to sell off, and this is where it really started to sell off from. So my thinking on this trade is that if this is an area where good selling started, then and it's not able to attract that same kind of selling, and it does not appear to be doing that. That's why I've gone ahead and put these buy orders in. So we'll just see if we can get filled here, and see if that market wants to keep rallying. The market did come down and hit us right on our tick, but unfortunately did not fill us. So we'll just hopefully it'll dip down once more and get us into this trade. So that little dip that we just had, just to try and get in, I'm going to lift it up just give it another tick, and get in at 15.75. So 17.15.75 and 17.13.75 are the two price levels I'm trying to get in at. You can see this other order that I have down here is one tick above that first really significant rally that we had, thinking that that acted as temporary resistance, likely to act as good support. And so we'll see if we can go ahead and get in there. This market is awfully powerful, so I'm going to go ahead. I'll just leave this at 6 contracts here at 15.75, and we'll leave it at 13.75. So we'll just see if we get filled on this, and should we get filled on this, I'm going to pause the video now. Should we get filled on this, I'll start it back up so we can follow the trade. Okay, just started the video back up. Okay, there we've just been filled at our 15.75 level, and this kind of obviously a pretty big day up. I do have the other order down here at 17.13.75, so I'm kind of splitting off my orders here. Obviously going to give this a little bit more room to run, in the sense that I would still like to get long at 13.75. So as far as the stop goes right now, my average price, should have come down and fill me here, will be at 14.75. And because of that, I usually give it, I'm very comfortable with about a 2-point risk. So if I do get filled at average of 14.75, that would bring my stop down to 12.75. Now 12.75 is maybe not quite enough on this, because you can see this last little dip right here came in here and had a nice decel before it rallied up above the earlier high. So I'm going to put my stop just below there. So I'm going to put my stop down here at 11.75. Let me just put that in there, and I'm going to have to, let's see, I'll put it at 17.11.75 sell stop. Okay, there we go. So we've got that in there, and we'll just see what we get here. I'd actually like to see it come down and fill this other order, because I think this area here is likely to be very good support. I knew going into this trade here that was, somewhat aggressive, because obviously the market had already rallied up quite a bit. But sometimes it can just, keep barreling ahead. So wanted to get in at least, at least on some position there. So we'll see if it can come back and fill us here. And we've got our stop in place, our just in case stop, I like to call it. So we see how we do here, and I'll just let this run for the time being, and just for the sake of keeping the video relatively short, I'll go ahead and pause the video now and pick it up should we get filled here or turn around and start to rally. Okay, just wanted to start the video back up. As you can see, we just got filled on that little dip right in here. We got filled right here on the other half of the order at 13.75, so average price 14.75. I do have a little bit larger than average stop. Stop down here is at 11.75, which is 3 points. But a little, usually I don't like to go more than about 2, but in this case, I, decided to get in a little higher than I normally would, and then the second half of the position down, what I think will be a good trade entry location. So average price 14.75, and we'll just I'm going to extend this line here a little bit so we can monitor the market as far as staying above that early high, which I think is a fairly important thing for the market to do. If it should come down and trade into this area, I mean, I could see it dipping into here. Obviously, I wouldn't want to see it come all the way down to here and take out this deceleration and divergence bar here. So we're just going to monitor it here. I do have what I should be doing here. I think what I will do is go ahead and put a limit order in. It's to sell. So we'll sell half of it up here. And I suspect my average price is 14.75, so I'm going to go ahead and put an order in at 16.25 on that, thinking that the market will come back up and test the high of the day. So we'll just leave that as it is for now, and we'll check in shortly. Okay, what I've decided to do here is I've got an order in here to buy another 6 at 17.1275. And the reason for that is that when the market did sell off initially in this area in here, it came up and tested it. Well, first of all, let me just move this a little bit here. Obviously, I need to change this first of all. So we'll just change that. And give it one extra tick, so I'm 2 ticks below here. Let me just shift this chart here a little bit. Okay, so the market first came up and made this high. It backed off in a fairly strong fashion. Had some level 2 selling bars in here, 1, 2, and then 3. And then the market turned around, rallied up, tested the high, came back into this area, and obviously found some more buying. So, so obviously we had some good buying starting from in this area. Right about in here. Whoops. Right about in here. So if we got some good buying in this area, I'll just shift that over so you can see it a bit better. So just again here, just to kind of go over what I'm thinking here. Good, real solid move up. Market came back down and tested the low of this high velocity move, found some buying, went right back up, tested the high, and when it did back off this time, it came in a bit, not all the way back down to that previous low, but obviously stalled out here. You can see the range of the bars were getting smaller. Tried to sell off some more, and the bars even got, on average, shorter ranges on them, and that's where the really good buying came in. So where we did have some half decent selling, where it did start, was on this bar and this bar, these 2 level 2 selling bars right here. And then the continuation here. and that's why I went ahead and put it in order to buy it just a tick above the high of these two selling bars here. So that high was at 1250, and that's why I put the order in at 1275. So that's where we got filled on the most recent order for 6 contracts, and the reason for it. And so our average price now is down here at 14. We've got 18, so I'd like to get out a half of my position at, I'm going to use about 1.5 points here, so 14, that would bring it up to approximately 15.5. So I'm going to try and sell half of them here, hopefully to get back up and test towards the high of the day, and get out of half the position, 15.5. And I've got my stop in here down at 1150. That's 2.5 point stop, so it's not, it's not a horrendously big stop. We'll see what we can get here. So that's my reason for what I did here. I think what I've kind of ended up by doing today is, I've been known to do this in the past. I don't always like doing it, but when the market is really bullish like today, and I had an earlier trade in this session but wasn't able to get it on video, I wanted to try and get another trade on video here, and then have and so I ended up by kind of chasing it a bit with that first order in particular. Not so much the second one, because I think that second fill at 1375 was good, and I think the one at 1275 is good. So I think those were good trade entry locations. I think the higher up one there was, perhaps chasing it a little too much. Wanted to, get in a trade and get a video made perhaps. But at any rate, we're in now, and market is more or less trading on our average entry price. So we'll leave it at that. I'm going to leave the stop for the time being where it is. It may come down and test into this area another time, but then again we might get a nice little bounce too. So we'll just leave it like this, and as the market develops, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video now, and as the market dictates, I'll go ahead and restart the video again. Okay, I've just started the video back up. You can see we did get that little bit of a pullback, didn't make the new low compared to this inter-range swing low, and now it's rallying up. It is moving on our direction. We've got the order in here at 15.5. I might be stretching that a little bit, but our average is around 14. So 15.5. I think I will bring this order down to, because I've got 18 on here, I think I will bring it down to 15 even for that first objective. And I think 15.5 might be stretching a little bit. We did have this nice deceleration right in here, and that's at 15.25. So 15.5 would be a tick above, 15 even would be a tick below. So that just gives us a point on the first half of the position, but that's okay. So I brought it down to 15, and we'll just a tick from there, and hopefully we can get filled here in a moment and make an adjustment. I think I will make the adjustment on the stop anyway. We did come down here at 1250, so I'll just bring this up a couple of ticks, put it at 12, let's say. So just make a slight adjustment on that, and a slight adjustment on the exit here. Didn't get filled on that, so we'll just let this sit a little bit more. I'll pause the video and we'll get back as the market dictates. Okay, I've just started the video back up. You can just see we just got filled here. It just came up and hit our exit on that. So we're now out of half of the position here with just a point profit. So the stop is still down here at 12. First of all, I need to change this obviously to just the number of contracts that I've got left here. But you can see that it's kind of a well, I guess you would call this a bit of a mistake because well, I have made money on it, so it's kind of hard to call it a mistake, but my entry as I mentioned a moment ago, that first entry was pretty darn aggressive, and I just felt, okay, the market is pretty darn bullish. Let's get in there, kind of thing. Whereas the other two entries that I had, I think were really, pretty good entries. We got our second entry was right here, and the third entry was right here. It was right at 1275. So 1375 and 1275. So I think those were good entries. Our other entry was up here. It was at 1575, way up here. Getting back up to that level now. So I was probably a little bit too aggressive here with that first entry, but knowing that the day's direction is certainly to the upside, and that if it were to get a pullback, I had some really good levels to get in on the pullback to kind of even out the position, if you will. So getting back up to our original entry position here is good, 1575. And I think what I will do, we've got the 9 left, and we had that little consolidation here, so I really wouldn't want the market to move back down below there. So I'm going to go ahead and raise my stop and just risk, I think, what's left here, 14. I'm going to put it at 13 and a half. So I'm just risking 2 ticks here on the second half of the position, because I really do want to see this thing, get moving. We do have 9 left on here, so I think what I will do is exit half of that. Well, I can't do half of 9, obviously, but I will exit 4 of them here at the 1575, which was our original entry price, or our highest entry price. Just to be a little bit more cautious on this, because I did go ahead and I would think a little bit too aggressive on that initial entry. So, and this was the entry price on that. We did buy 6 at that level, so we got 9 left. I'll go ahead and sell 4 there, and it looks like we stand a good chance of getting filled on that at any moment here. And then I will raise the stop. Should we get filled on this, I'll go ahead and raise the stop to break even, or up to 14. For the final, I would make it 5 contracts. So we'll just watch this for a minute, and hopefully we can get filled on this and make that adjustment. I'll go ahead and pause the video now. It hasn't filled it. Started up as the market dictates. Okay, I've just restarted the video. You can see that it was trading in this area when I stopped it, so it's about 10-15 minutes later. It did come down. We were lucky in the sense that it came within 1 tick of our stop, and now it's rallied back up. We haven't yet been filled at that 1575, which is a point. Actually, that's a 1.75. Well, it's the original entry, and it's right at where the market had rallied up to last time. So I might be trying to squeeze a little too much out of this, but I think we'll just leave it there for the time being. Just want to bring you up to date. I will pause the video now and restart it as the market dictates. Okay, I have just restarted the video again. You can see that we're right back up within a tick of our objective here, 1575. It keeps hitting 1550. Okay, there we go. It's finally come up and hit 1575 again, and hopefully we can get filled on roughly half of the contracts of our position that we currently have left. So trying to sell 4 here at 1575. So we'll just let this run for a moment. I think what I will do, is bring this stop up to break even, just to kind of be on the safe side here. Put that at 14. Just leave it at 9 for the time being. We've already made a point on half of this position, which the total initial position was 18. We had bought in 3 groups of 6, so we're out of half of that for a point profit. So we got out of 9 contracts for 1 point. So I put the stop in here to break even, because we have come up here and hit for the second time our objective at 15.75, which was actually the very first entry price that we had gotten long at for this trade. So we'll just leave that for the moment here, hopefully get filled on that shortly. But we do have our stop in here at break even, and obviously should we get filled on this sell limit order here at 17.15.75, I will adjust the number of contracts for the protective sell stop at break even down from 9 to 5, because if we're able to sell 4 here, obviously we'll just have 5 contracts left, so I'll have to make that adjustment should we get filled here. So hopefully just waiting to do that. We're up 1.5 points on this. It'd be nice to get filled at 15.5, 15.75. Keeps batting up there, so I think it's okay. There we go, good. So we did get filled at our 15.75. We're now down to 5 contracts, so I'll place this as 5. You can see here that we've got 5 left right here, and I'll go ahead and put my stop in at break even right at 14 there. So now as far as the upside goes, I think there is some room to move to the upside here, and I would actually look to see as the next real objective close to about 17.20, because when you take a look at when this market sold off back after that FOMC rally, it did, this 15 and change areas where it really started to sell off. So the high, I think, of the market back on that day, let me just check it here. Yeah, that was around 15.5, so we're above that. So it looks to me on that day, the next area actually would be about 18. So perhaps now we did get up to 17 here. So I think what I'll do with these 5 could get up to 18. So we do have 5 contracts left. I think what I will do is sell 3 just shy of 18. So that's at 17.75. Now our current high is right here at 17, and then I'll place that just 2 ticks above the high of the day at 17.50 to sell 3. And hopefully the market can continue to move up there. So we've got that in place, and let me just make an adjustment on this so we can see it a little bit better. There we go. This is where we came down and got filled. These are the 2 blue arrows. This is the current high at 17. I do think that that'll get tested, hopefully get taken out by a little bit, at least a couple of ticks, and get us filled for 3 more contracts on here. So I'll just going to pause the video here, and as the market develops, I'll go ahead and restart the video. Okay, just started the video back up. As you can see here, it did come up and touch on the high. We did not make that new high. The market has come in here with a nice level 2 selling bar. I've left the stop here at break even. Oftentimes this kind of aggressive selling will have some follow through. So obviously I'm in jeopardy here, being stopped at a break even on the final partial position. So we'll just see what happens here. What I did do over here on the right, for those of you that are not familiar with the tick value and so forth, or the point value, in the emini S&P. When the market moves from, let's say, 1715 to 1716, you can see that it moves in quarter increments. So there's a $50 value for each point. So each increment is 1/4 of that, of course, which is $12.50. So I just made a synopsis here of summary of the results. We had a total of 18 contracts on. We got filled at 3 different locations, 6 each. We exited 1/2 the position for 1 point profit, so that was 9 points of profit there. Another 4 we exited at 1.75 profit, so there was 7 points there. We now have 5 left, and we have a break even in, so should we get stopped on that, our net total will be 16 points, and of course 16 points times $50 per point gives you the $800. So for those of you that might not have traded the E-mini S&P, are not familiar with the tick value, because every futures contract has a tick value to it. A lot of them have $10, a lot of them have $12.50. The crude and the gold and the E-mini Russell are all $10 per tick, whereas you take a look at the currencies, the grains, and the E-mini S&P, they're all $12.50 a tick. So, and then obviously then $50 a point. So just to give you kind of a rundown on that. Now this is a good sign, because we've seen here the market have that good selling, that level 2 selling bar, but immediately obviously some buying came in, because we now have this cyan bar here, which is a level 1 buying bar. And for the market to come down, you can also see we have at the bottom of that bar this triangle and dot, means that the type of activity within this bar was there was more buying in it, which stands to reason because it is a cyan bar, which means that's what we consider to be a level 1 buying bar. But so it's the weakest of the buying bars, and that of course is on the heels of this level 2 selling bar, this red bar coming in here. This other light red bar is a level 1 selling. So we've got, and this green here is a level 2 buying. So we've got level 2 buying, market backed off a couple of ticks off of its low, went up, tested the high, and now we've got the really good selling coming in here with a little bit of follow through. But notice that this the selling, this is a selling bar. I would classify this is an unusual bar because it took out its previous bar's low. I'm referring to this cyan bar here, this light blue bar. It took out its previous bar's low, which is right here, came down, took it out. But there's more buying in this bar, and then it also decelerated, and we had divergence. So I would say if the low of this gets taken out, then that's not good. So I'm just going to go ahead and raise my stop a tick, because I think if this bar gets taken out, we could have further down move. It only gives me another tick in here, but on 5 contracts, that's 5 ticks. That's another $62.50. And I do think if this bar was not a divergence and a deceleration, I would not be as concerned. I would just leave the stop there, but I think because it is, and if its low gets taken out, we could have a bit of a rundown. Okay, we just got filled on that. Okay, so we ended up with an extra $62.50, so $862.50 on that particular trade, minus the cost of the commissions, and there was 18 contracts there, so you're talking $80 or something like that. So still a good trade. And obviously I need to now cancel this order here because the trade has finished. And it's funny here, I was saying if this low could get taken out, we could have a big, pretty good run down. Not a big run, but certainly perhaps come down and test into here, into this 12 area or so. But it's just, it turned right around and looks like it wants to rally again. So the market is strong. I think, the kind of sense that I had going into this particular trade was pretty darn bullish, obviously, because I went ahead and that first entry I got long way up here at 1575, and then we had the other 2 entries here at 1275 right here and at 1375, and then we got out as the market rallied up. So the trade worked out fine. this was a pretty aggressive entry, and I was thinking that, the market is so bullish, I want to get in there. So, I ended up by getting in for 6 contracts at this higher level, 6 contracts down here, and 6 down here. So I think these 2 trade entry locations, the lower 2, made a real lot of sense, and because we had good structure to deal with, whereas this first one that I got in was more of a sense of saying, yeah, this guy's really strong today, I want to get in here. It had just taken, I think the reason it had just taken out this pair here of deceleration and divergence. When it took those out, it just really seemed to have a lot of good strength, and it did, but I was kind of chasing it at that point, but also with the realization that, okay, I just really think this market is bullish and I want to get on board, and still being prepared, obviously, to be a buyer should the market pull back. So it was a little bit of a different trade. It worked out fine. I think, looking back at it, I would say to myself, rather than chase it just to make sure you got a trade on a video here today, just be a little bit more patient and only get in at the real ideal trade entry location areas. So, that's something that occurred that I probably could work on, and but by the same token, though, that when you have when you take a look at the market and what had occurred yesterday, and kind of in other words, the immediate background going into today, and the good up move that we had, that's pretty darn bullish, and you want to make sure you get on board some of those. I did have a trade earlier in the day, but just happened too quickly, wasn't able to get a video done of that, and that was very nice because that was a good rally there as well. So we had good information going into the day. After the market had absolutely no follow through yesterday and came down to support, and for it to have a good move up overnight, wanted to get on board that. So anyway, that's how that trade transpired, and some of the thoughts and so forth that went into it. So any questions or comments, just get a hold of us at info at, I should put that on here, just let me type that in here, info at daytradethemarkets.com. Okay, so for those of you that are not familiar with us, this is our website here, daytradethemarkets.com, and our email is info@daytradethemarkets.com. So hope you got something out of this. Thanks for taking the time to watch it, and we'll see you next time. Dave Johnston signing off here for Day Trade the Markets.